Greetings, fellow Dungeon Delvers, and welcome to Dorans and Dragons, where we work together to come up with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition builds for your favorite League of Legends champions. Today we're building Kled, the Cantankerous Cavalier. This Noxian Yordle is a terror on the battlefield, a veritable whirlwind of steel, death, and Scarl. Kled has more titles than Edge of Tomorrow, each earned through his various feats in battle or in a particular conquest. Kled's Dracolops Scarl is always by his side, until he gets scared and runs away. First, let's cover the goals of this build. We need Scarl. We're going to wait till we can grab a feat to make it safe for Scarl before we introduce him to the build. Can't bring him in just for your DM to see how OP you are and try to wipe him out before you can protect him properly. We're also going to need some proficiency in mounted combat. Kled is at his best atop Scarl, and that should be no different here. We also need to cover his ultimate ability, a long distance charge that disrupts our enemies and brings us into the thick of the battle. For race, we're going with the Stout Halfling. Halfling sizes are considered to be small. This is very important for mounting later on in the build. Stout Halflings also gain +2 to their dexterity and 1 to their constitution. They also gain a few cool features, including Lucky, which lets you reroll all ones from a d20, Brave, which gives you advantage on saving throws, Halfling Nimbleness, that lets you move through spaces that have a creature larger than you, hint, that's nearly all of them, and finally, Stout Resilience, which gives you advantage on poison saving throws and gives you resistance to poison damage. Let's be honest, poison and its damage in 5e is a joke. Everyone and their mother gets resistance or immunity to it at some point. For our background, we're going to go with Soldier. Sometimes the obvious thing is the best thing. You gain proficiency in athletics and intimidation, as well as the military rank feature, which gives you some sweet RP abilities with other soldiers. For stats, we're going to be using the standard array. If you want to roll it up yourself, have a ball. Just keep in mind your multiclassing minimums with wisdom and dexterity. Our highest score is going to be our strength. Kled sits on top of Scarl and whacks away with his war pick, and he needs those hits to have some oomph in them. Second, we'll take our constitution. I know in-game Kled and Scarl share a health pool, but that's not how this works in D&D, so if we want that signature high health pool, we need to put it on Kled, not Scarl. After that, we have Wisdom. He isn't the brightest Yordle in the bunch, but he makes up for it with his great decisions on the battlefield. Also, multiclassing minimums. Next we have Dexterity. Scarl is the cowardly Dracolops, and we need that high dex to stay on top of him when he gets squirrely. Charisma is going to round out our last non-negative modifier. I wanted this to be higher, but these are the woes of the standard array. Finally, Intelligence. I feel like this one speaks for itself. Here's the special equipment you'll need for this build. Kled utilizes 2 weapons depending on his mounted status. Kled will need a war pick for when he's mounted, and a hand crossbow will flavor as his pistol for when he's dismounted. Alrighty, let's kick this off with a level in Ranger. Rangers have a d10 hit die, as does our multiclass, so we're going to be fairly thick by the end of this build. You gain proficiency with light and medium armor, simple and martial weapons, and shields. You also gain 3 skill proficiencies. We'll take Animal Handling, Survival, and Perception. Might as well take advantage of all that wisdom we had to build. First level Rangers also choose their favored enemy. This means you have advantage on survival checks to track them and intelligence checks. That's a good one. To remember stuff about them. You also learn 1 language your enemy speaks. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this is silly for Kled, so we're just gonna go to the humanoid track and take humans and dwarves. At this level, Rangers also get Natural Explorer, which gives you a ton of utility for traveling an hour or more in your favored terrain, as well as advantage on intelligence and wisdom checks in skills you're proficient in. Second level Rangers gain the ability to cast spells. As with all builds, we're only going to discuss spells that are relevant to the build. You get 2 spells at this level, and we can grab 2 that are Kled relevant. We'll take Hail of Thorns. When you make a ranged weapon attack before the spell ends, your projectile spouts a rain of thorns that force all creatures within 5 feet of your target to make dexterity saves or take 1d10 piercing. We can flavor this as Kled's dismounted Q ability. We can also take Longstrider. It's kind of a mess spell, but it gives you 10 additional movement speed per turn for an hour. Give this to Scarl, and when he dashes, you'll gain an extra 20 feet of movement to get you in position for strikes. Finally, at this level, you'll gain a fighting style. We'll take Dueling, since at all points in this build, you should only be using 1 weapon in 1 hand. Dueling gives you a +2 to your damage rolls with said weapons. At 3rd level, Rangers choose their archetype. We're going to go with Beastmaster. This will give us even more mastery over Scarl. Beastmasters gain a Beast Companion. It can only be of medium size or lower, and CR 1/4 or lower. Time to grab our Scaly Boy. From Eberron, rising from the last war, we have the Fastieth. They are nearly a perfect match of Scarl, and I'm so glad I could find a non-homebrewed version to fit him. They're medium, so as a small creature you can mount them. Their snippet of lore indicates they were bred as halfling mounts with a focus on speed. There's a bunch of rules here, but I'm going to simplify it for you. You get to move them for free, but if you want to do more than that, it's going to cost you an action. Luckily, we'll have more than one action later on in the build. Spoilers! Remember, protect your scaly boy this level. Douchey DMs can wipe him out before next level when you can properly tank for him. Third level rangers also gain Primeval Awareness. You can burn one spell slot to gain 1 minute of sensing aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead within 1 mile of you. It doesn't reveal their location or number, however. This isn't really Kled specific, but just a pretty cool feature that does actually come in handy sometimes during your adventures. Okay, 4th level ranger. This is going to be our last level in ranger, so wave goodbye while we get an ability score increase. We're going to grab the mounted combatant feat. This is going to let us tank for Scarl and keep him relatively safe from spells. You have advantage on attacks against any creature smaller than your mount, so when the other Yordles come around, you slice and dice them. Most importantly, you can force any attack targeted at Scarl to target you instead. Finally, if Scarl has to make a dex save, he takes no damage on successes and only half on fails. This should help a lot to keep Scarl around for the long haul. Alright, time to switch gears and start building into fighter. Kled is a BA warrior, so this isn't much of a surprise. Fighters have a D10 hit die, like I mentioned earlier, so our tanky streak continues. You gain no new proficiencies, but you do gain another fighting style. These can't stack, so instead of taking dueling again, we'll take defense, which gives you a +1 to your AC when you're wearing armor. Finally, you'll gain second wind, which lets you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per rest. Conqueror stacks are OP, am I right? Second level fighters gain action surge. This is very straightforward. Once per rest, you can perform 2 actions per turn. This will let you pump out some serious damage, especially once you unlock your extra attack features. At level 3, fighters choose their martial archetype. We're going to take a path not commonly traveled and choose to be a Cavalier. Cavaliers gain a bunch of features, including a free skill proficiency, which will take Persuasion, Born to the Saddle, which gives you advantage on saving throws to not fall off Scarl, and saves you some of your speed from mounting or dismounting. And finally, Unwavering Mark, which lets you mark any target you hit. Mark creatures have disadvantage on not hitting you while you're within 5 feet, forcing them to either leave your radius to hit someone, thus incurring an opportunity attack, or attack at disadvantage. Also, if they do manage to damage someone other than you, you can attack them as a bonus action on your next turn. This bonus attack has advantage and deals extra damage equal to half your fighter level. You can make X of these strikes per long rest, X being your strength mod. 4th level fighters gain an ability score increase. We're going to round off our strength and constitution. Kled's getting dummy thick out here. At 5th level, you gain your first extra attack. Now when you take the attack action or action surge, you can make 2 attacks. This is Kled's violent tendencies starting to ramp up. Level 6 gives fighters another ability score improvement. Fighters get so many of these. We're going to be taking full advantage and bump our strength up 2 points. This will bring us up to 18 if you're running the standard array. 7th level Cavaliers unlock Warding Maneuver. If a target within 5 feet of you is hit with an attack, you can roll a d8 as a reaction and add that number to the target's AC. If the attack still hits, the target has resistance to the damage. You can use this X number of times per long rest, your con modifier being X. At 8th level, fighters get another ability score increase! Time to cap our strength with 2 more points. Kled is hella strong now. You have a flat +7 to your war pick damage now with every attack thanks to dueling and our cap strength. That means a minimum of 14 damage per round right now, assuming hits are made, of which we have a +8 chance in doing so. Level 9 fighters gain Indomitable. Once per long rest, you can reroll any saving throw you fail, but you have to take the new result. 10th level Cavaliers gain the Hold the Line feature. Creatures provoke an opportunity attack if they move 5 or more feet within your reach. And if you hit a creature with said attack, their speed is reduced to 0 until the end of the current turn. We're going to flavor this as Kled's mounted Q locking targets down. At level 11, we reach final form in terms of Kled's W with an additional extra attack. Now you can attack 3 times in 1 turn, or 6 with Action Surge. With our flat +7 per attack, that gives us 42 damage before any dice even start rolling. It's absurdly awesome. Level 12 fighters get another ability score increase. Time to bump our constitution now. This gives us more charges of Warding Maneuver and lots of extra HP. 13th level fighters gain a second charge of Indomitable. It's not exactly an ability score increase, but hey, I mean, we'll take something different for once. At level 14, fighters get another ability score increase. I feel like a broken record already, and there's still one more coming. We're going to bump our constitution one more time to cap it out. This is going to be one of our tankiest builds to date. 15th level Cavalier. Now I know what you're thinking. We're only 2 levels away, and he hasn't given us Kled's ultimate. Is he hustling us? Does he think we'd forget this essential character-defining ability? Of course not. We just needed some patience to get there. Ferocious Charger comes online at this level. When you move at least 10 feet in a straight line before attacking a creature and hit with that initial strike, the target has to succeed on a DC 19 strength save or be knocked prone. You can do this once per turn. Lord forbid if you're in any kind of open area. I fear for the poor fools you come across. The disruption you're going to cause with this level of utility is insane. Fighter 16 is going to be our final level in the build. What do level 16 fighters get? I'll give you one guess. Ability, score, increase! We're going to bump up our decks here and give us some initiative love as well as some hand crossbow love. Alright, now that we've completed the build, let's see how we did. First, the good. We really nailed it on the character fantasy front. All of Kled's abilities, mounted and unmounted, are possible with this build. Skarl is an absolute treasure, and I think this would be very fun to play. We're also very tanky. At 224 HP and a 17 AC, 19 if you grab a shield, you are an absolute unit. The front lines will fear you. There's tons of damage too. Unfortunately, we can't presume on the magical item enhancements you'll get, but even with base equipment, you're still doing a flat 21 damage per turn before a single damage die is rolled. That's hella strong. Add in your unwavering marks, which add 8 damage to each strike as well, and you're going to be stacking the bodies. Now, the bad. Skarl is mortal. This is the greatest threat to this build. You have tons of utility to keep the damage on you instead of him, but if your DM is a jerk, or you go too hard on someone you shouldn't, you could lose him, and that would be rough. Keep your buddy safe. Your ranged options are kinda bleh. You have the hand crossbow, which helps, and Skarl does have 50 feet of movement on his turn, but overall, you're definitely gonna be melee oriented only. You also only have 3 spell slots, and only 2 of your spells are actually Kled specific anyways. Finally, it takes quite a bit for your ultimate to come online, which is a bit of a bummer, but man is it awesome when it does. So, what did you think? Are there any changes you'd make to the build? If so, comment below and let us know. I've included a link to this build via D&D Beyond in the description below if you'd like to view the character sheet digitally. If you enjoy this type of content, please like, share, and subscribe, then leave a comment on which champion you'd like us to take on next. Next week, we'll be making a special champ to fit the quarantine theme most of us are dealing with. After that, we'll be back to taking requests. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you on the Rift, or in the Forgotten Realms.